Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer it honestly. If you made more money this year, would your life actually change? Or would your money disappear the same way it always does? Because for most people, the problem isn't income. It's not inflation. It's not the economy. It's not even bad luck. The problem is what they keep buying, without ever stopping to ask what those purchases are really costing them. Right now, there are people earning less than you who are quietly building wealth, and there are people earning twice your income who feel trapped, stressed, and one emergency away from panic. Same economy, same prices, same world, completely different outcomes. Why? Because wealth is not built by how much you make. It's built by what you refuse to buy. That sentence makes people uncomfortable, because it means the enemy isn't out there. It's not your boss. It's not the system. It's not the government. It's in everyday decisions that feel harmless, normal, even deserved. That coffee you didn't think about. That upgrade you told yourself you earned. That convenience purchase you barely remember making. Individually, they feel small. Together, they decide your future. Most people never see this connection. They just feel stuck. They work harder. They earn more. They still feel behind. And over time, they start believing that wealth is for other people. But here's the truth. Wealth is not about having more money. It's about leaking less of it. And the leaks that destroy wealth are not the obvious ones. They are the socially accepted habits that nobody warns you about. The ones that look like success. The ones that feel like comfort. The ones that feel like progress. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. And once you stop buying them, everything changes. This is not about being cheap. This is about being free. And today, you're going to see exactly what has been quietly keeping you from getting rich. Now here's where most people misunderstand everything. When they hear the word frugality, they think it means suffering. They imagine cutting joy, saying no to everything, living small while everyone else enjoys life. But that's not frugality, that's fear. Real frugality has nothing to do with deprivation. It has everything to do with control. Frugality is the ability to tell your money where to go, instead of wondering where it went. And in today's world, that skill matters more than ever, because money no longer leaves your life loudly. It leaves silently. One tap, one click, one subscription you forgot you signed up for. You don't feel the pain immediately, so your brain never registers the loss. And when money leaves silently, it becomes almost impossible to build wealth intentionally. Here's a truth that changes how you see money. Every dollar you earn has only two possible jobs. It either builds your future, or it entertains your present. That's it. There is no third option. But most people never make that choice consciously. They let habits decide for them. And habits don't care about your goals. Habits don't care about freedom. They don't care about stress. They don't care about your future. They only care about comfort right now. This is why people who earn more often feel more trapped. Because higher income without discipline does not create freedom. It creates better-looking chains. Frugality is what breaks those chains, not by cutting everything, but by aligning spending with intention. Wealth builders don't ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "Does this move me closer to freedom or further away from it?" And once you start asking that question, your entire relationship with money changes, because you stop chasing pleasure and start protecting progress. And the first place that most people lose control is the moment their income increases. Which brings us to the first thing you must stop buying if you want to get rich. Number 1, lifestyle inflation. The moment most people start earning more, they believe they're finally moving forward. But this is where wealth quietly starts to die, not because of a mistake, not because of recklessness, but because of a habit that feels completely justified. Lifestyle inflation doesn't arrive dramatically, it whispers. You worked hard for this. You deserve better. It's only a little upgrade. A slightly nicer apartment, a newer car, more convenience, more comfort. Individually, none of these decisions feel dangerous, but together, they erase the very thing that creates wealth. Margin. Lifestyle inflation is dangerous because it disguises itself as progress. Your income goes up, but so do your obligations. And suddenly, you're working harder just to maintain the same level of peace. Here's the truth most people never hear. If your expenses rise every time your income rises, you're not getting richer. You are just getting busier. Wealth builders understand this early. They do not let their lifestyle chase their income. They let their income chase their vision. They decide in advance what level of comfort is enough, and everything above that becomes fuel for freedom, because the gap between what you earn and what you spend, that gap is not spare money. It is power. It is choice. It is peace. It is future freedom taking shape. Most people destroy that gap the moment it appears, because upgrading feels rewarding today. But the reward is temporary. The cost is permanent. And once lifestyle inflation locks in, it becomes harder to reverse without pain, which is why so many people feel stuck even as their income grows. And once lifestyle inflation sets the tone, it opens the door to the next trap: buying things not for function, but for validation. Number 2, status and brand validation. Once lifestyle inflation becomes normal, something else quietly takes over. Your spending stops being about usefulness and starts being about identity. This is where status and brand validation enter the picture. Most people tell themselves they're paying for quality, but if we're being honest, most brand name purchases are about something else. They're about how the purchase makes you feel. They say, "Look at me. I'm doing well. I belong." And there is nothing wrong with wanting to belong. But here's the problem. Wealth does not care how you look. Wealth cares about what you own and what owns you. Every dollar spent trying to look successful is a dollar that cannot build actual success. Status spending is dangerous because it rarely causes immediate pain. There's no emergency, no crisis. Just slow, invisible delay. Delay in saving, delay in investing, delay in freedom. And the cruel irony is this: the people you are trying to impress are not paying attention. They are busy dealing with their own lives, their own stress, their own money problems. Wealth builders learn this early. They stop buying approval. They start buying time. They buy peace of mind. They buy options. They buy flexibility. They understand that real wealth does not announce itself. It compounds quietly. And once you stop chasing appearance, you start noticing the next leak. Not the flashy one, the daily one, the one that drains money a little at a time, every single day. Number 3, convenience as a lifestyle. Once spending becomes emotional and identity-driven, convenience quietly takes control. Convenience itself is not the problem. The problem is when convenience becomes the default. Food delivered instead of prepared. Items ordered instead of planned. Money spent to avoid small effort. Each decision feels insignificant. But habits are not built in big moments. They are built in small, repeated choices that your brain stops questioning. And convenience trains your brain to value ease over intention. Wealth, however, is built through intentional friction. That doesn't mean suffering. It means slowing money down. Wealth builders create pauses between desire and action, because the pause is where awareness lives. When money moves too fast, it never stays long enough to multiply. Fast money out means slow wealth in. Most people don't notice this happening. They just feel like their paycheck never seems to last. And the more convenience they add, the faster the money disappears. The danger of convenience spending is that it rarely looks irresponsible. It looks normal. Everyone's doing it. Everyone accepts it. But normal spending habits create normal financial outcomes. Wealth requires uncommon decisions, and rushing decisions often leads to another mistake. When people try to justify convenience, they tell themselves they're saving money by choosing the cheaper option, which leads directly to the next trap. Number 4, cheap today, expensive forever. When decisions are rushed, price becomes the only factor people consider. Cheaper feels smarter in the moment. It feels responsible. It feels practical. But cheap rarely means affordable. Cheap usually means temporary. Replacing the same item again and again is one of the most expensive habits you can have. Wealth builders don't ask, "How cheap is this?" They ask, "How long will this last?" They understand something most people overlook. The real cost of something is not what you pay today. It's how many times you'll have to pay for it again. Cheap purchases create a loop: buy, break, replace. And each time you lose more than money. You lose time. You lose focus. You lose momentum. Durability is a form of frugality, and frugality is respect for your future self. Wealth builders think in systems. They don't optimize for today, they optimize for less friction tomorrow. But even good planning and smart decision-making can collapse under one powerful force: emotion. And that leads us to the most dangerous spending habit of all. Number 5, emotional spending and the wealth shift. Everything we've talked about so far can be explained with logic, income, habits, behavior, discipline. But this final one has nothing to do with logic, because even the most disciplined plan can collapse in an emotional moment. This is where money stops being a tool and becomes a coping mechanism. Stress, spend. Bored, spend. Unhappy, spend. In those moments, money becomes emotional medicine, not because the purchase solves anything, but because it provides relief, temporary relief. And temporary relief is dangerous because it trains the brain. Your mind begins to associate spending with feeling better. And once that connection is formed, logic no longer has control. You're not buying the item. You're buying the feeling. But here's the truth most people never face. Money is a terrible therapist. It doesn't heal stress. It doesn't fix unhappiness. It doesn't remove anxiety. It only delays dealing with it. Emotional spending creates a loop. Relief, regret, stress, more spending. And over time, that loop becomes a lifestyle. This is why people can budget perfectly for weeks, then undo everything in one emotional evening. Wealth builders are not immune to emotion. They are aware of it. They learn to pause when emotion shows up. They don't ask, "Do I want this?" They ask, "What am I actually feeling right now?" Because awareness breaks the cycle. And this is where the true wealth shift happens. At some point, wealthy people stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and start asking, "What does this cost my future?" That question changes everything, because suddenly, spending becomes a decision, not a reaction. Frugality stops feeling like restriction and starts feeling like power. Power to choose peace over pressure, power to choose freedom over impulse, power to delay pleasure so future options can grow. This is why frugality works, not because it limits life, but because it protects it. If you've made it this far, you're already thinking differently, and that's how wealth actually begins. Not with money, but with awareness. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 do you recognize the most in your own life? Drop it in the comments. And if you're ready to keep building discipline, clarity, and financial freedom, subscribe to Financial Awakening with Aaron. Because getting rich starts with what you stop buying.